Welcome to the Alison Howard podcast, where high-achieving women elevate their identity, expand what's possible, and create a life of true abundance. I'm Alison Howard. Let's dive in. Today, I want to talk to the woman who feels like she should be further along by now. And I know that we've all felt this way. I have felt this way so many times. This is the woman who looks around and thinks, why does it seem like everybody else is moving faster than me? Have you ever had that thought? Or why do I feel like I'm always playing catch up? Like I'm always behind? Or did I miss my moment? Are my best years behind me? I have had all of those thoughts, and let me tell you, no, cancel. We're not going to go there, okay? If you've ever had those quiet fears that maybe you're late or you're behind or you're somehow off track in your life, this episode is for you. Because I want to offer you a different perspective, and one that has brought me a lot of peace in my own life, because I think as we get older, as we get further along in business, those questions naturally come up. And I just want to pose the perspective of, what if you're not behind at all? What if you're actually being prepared? And this is part of the comparison trap that we actually don't talk about. So comparison doesn't always show up as jealousy. Sometimes it shows up as discouragement, or sometimes it shows up as self-doubt. And sometimes it shows up as rushing yourself into things that you're not ready for just so you don't feel left out. And for women especially, comparison can feel a little bit sneaky. So we tend to scroll, right? We'll be scrolling on social media. We're looking left and right. We're observing. We're seeing what everybody's doing. And without even meaning to, we're silently measuring. And even when we're proud of other women, even when we genuinely love them and we support them, there's still that quiet voice inside that will say sometimes, well, why not me yet? When is it my turn? And I've had seasons where I've questioned my timing deeply, where I wondered if I had waited too long, or I wondered if I had moved too quickly. I wondered if I had tapped out too fast. There have been times where I questioned whether starting over or pivoting or wanting more meant that I was behind. And what I've learned is this: comparison rarely tells the truth about readiness. So here's a little bit of a personal story that I want to share with you. Because yes, there were moments in my life where I felt like I was late to my own potential. So I had experience, I had knowledge, I had the dream, I had desires. But what I didn't have yet was the internal steadiness to actually hold what I was asking for. Looking back now, I can see that the seasons that I thought were delays were actually building things that I couldn't skip. And that's part of the process. We have to become emotionally mature. We have to embrace discernment. We have to embody self-trust. And we have to establish solid boundaries before we're able to move forward each time we're progressing and expanding and ascending and growing. At the time, it didn't feel productive. And I remember this at every level of every business that I've ever owned. I also have experienced this in relationships and in other areas of life and health. And, at the time when you're going through that delay, it doesn't feel productive. In fact, it felt really freaking slow. It felt frustrating for me. I don't like slow. Patience is definitely not one of my strengths. But now I can say with certainty that had things happened earlier, I wouldn't have been able to sustain them. I wasn't ready. So sometimes timing isn't about opportunity, it's about capacity. And this is why preparation often feels like nothing is happening. And this is the part that nobody actually prepares us for. I know I wasn't prepared for this. Preparation seasons, they just don't look impressive. They look quite boring. And I don't like boring things either. So what they look like is, relearning yourself, because we never stay the same. So there are going to be seasons where you're kind of recalibrating to who you are now in this iteration of yourself. These preparation seasons look like letting go of those old versions of yourself. They look like getting honest about what you want and building resilience that you can't yet see, for reasons that you can't yet understand. And because there's no one to pat you on the back or, give you an applause for that, it's really easy to think that nothing is happening. But I want to encourage you, friends, something is happening. It's happening underneath, right? It's kind of like planting a seed in the ground. The day that you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit. So these preparation seasons are just planting seasons. You're becoming more grounded during these seasons, more discerning, more anchored, right? And that kind of preparation creates a very different kind of success. It's one that is stable. It's success that is rooted. It's success that doesn't fall apart under pressure. I actually see this all the time with a lot of the women that I work with. I coach women who are entrepreneurs, who are high achievers, who are looking to expand and elevate and ascend in their lives and businesses. They want more, they have dreams, and they want to collapse time. They want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible, which is why they hire me, the coach, right? And what they tell me is, I just want momentum. I want things to move faster. I feel like I'm behind where I should be at this point in my life. And almost every single time, what's really happening is this. They are in a season of integration, and that's the perfect time to actually work with a coach, is when you are in a season of integration, where you feel like things aren't moving, like no matter what you do, you're trying to force, no matter what you do, it's not working. This is the perfect time. This is when I love to work with people, because what we learn to do in these seasons is how to hold more without burning out. I help my clients understand how to trust themselves without outsourcing every single decision, which is what we've gotten very, very used to, especially if you're a millennial like me. Learning how to receive, my word of the year is receive. Learning how to receive and not just strive. And these things don't mean that you're behind. It means that you're laying a foundation that's actually going to support your next level. So who you're becoming, it matters, and it takes time. It's not to be rushed. And this is where identity starts to come in, because you don't just arrive at a new level. This isn't like playing video games, right? You become someone who can live at that new level, who can embrace the new level, who can be the woman in that new level. And becoming that doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't happen on a timeline that we can always see. We can't control the timeline a lot of times. It happens quietly. It happens internally. It happens incrementally. So if you feel like you're changing, but nothing external has caught up yet, I want to remind you that that is actually not failure. This is a good thing. That is transition. Okay? So if this is resonating with you, if you're feeling like, yes, okay, this makes sense, and I'm excited about actually being in this season of preparation, if you can feel that sense of, becoming, but still you want clarity about what's next for you, I want to invite you to join me for something that is so, so special and exciting for me. I'm hosting my first ever live 3-day event on Zoom. It's happening on February 11th, 12th, and 13th. And this experience is designed for the woman who is in a season of growth. She's in a season of transition, of expansion. Maybe this is you right now. And if you're wanting to move forward with clarity and confidence and grounded belief, this is absolutely for you. So over the 3 days of my live event on Zoom, what we're going to be exploring is what season you're actually in and why that matters, and what's being built beneath the surface, and how to move forward without rushing or without self-abandonment. And so the registration link is in the show notes, and I would love for you to be there. I would love to support you live in that space. Space is limited, so make sure to reserve your seat, because my Zoom room only holds so many people, and I just hope that you're there. Okay, before I close, I want to give you a few takeaways. I want to leave you with a few simple things that you can take with you this week, okay? Number one, feeling behind doesn't mean that you are behind. A lot of times what we observe in the physical world is just that. It's an observation, but it's not the truth. This is where imagination comes in. I talk a lot about this with my students, with the people that I coach. What we expect and what we imagine, what we assume is what we will create, what will become true. So feeling behind does not mean that you're behind. Preparation often looks like stillness, not speed. And no, it's not sexy. It's not fun. But maybe you'll think about it a little bit differently leaving this episode, because preparation is so important, because when you do ascend to that next level, you need to be the version of you who can actually hold that success, right? Number 3, capacity matters more than timing. And lastly, who you're becoming will always matter more than how fast you get there. So if you take nothing else from this episode, I hope you'll at least take this. You are not late to your life. You are exactly where you're meant to be right now. So embrace it, enjoy it, okay? If this episode spoke to you, I'd love to connect with you. You can find me on Instagram at the Alison Howard, Alison with 1 L. Come say hello, send me a message. I love to hear from people. And let me know what landed for you. Let me know what you're enjoying. Let me know what you want to know more about. I'd be happy to chat with you for a bit. And if you're feeling called to go deeper, I would love to see you inside of this live event this February. So make sure to register for that. Now, remember, I want you to go and be the woman that your future is waiting on. And I can't wait to talk with y'all next week. I hope you have a great week. Thank you for spending your time with me. I know your time is so valuable, so I do not take that lightly. Be blessed.